at just the age of 9 years old, an Italian boy named Carlo Acutis began studying computers and began to read books, and he taught himself computer programming and graphic design. And then as a teenager, he created this website that categorized miracles from all over the world. Well, Carlo died of leukemia in 2006 at the age of 16. And on October 10th of this year, Carlo was beatified by Pope Francis. And according to a New York Times article, with that recognition also comes the official title of blessed or blessed. And part of gaining this title involves Carlo having a verifiable miracle attributed to him. If a second miracle is verified, then Carlo will most likely be named a saint, the first millennial to attain this honor. Carlo is already being hailed in some Catholic circles as the patron saint of the internet. And there's a whole lot, I think, to the process of being beatified and attaining the title of blessed. But from what I've read, one of the key measures is the performance of a miracle. So here is my question. Given what I just described, the story I've just told, what's the miracle that occurs on that day when Jesus calls the company of people in this gospel blessed? He is, in a sense, beatifying them. We even refer to these verses as the Beatitudes. Let's remember the context. When Jesus sits down on this mountain, he's already gained quite a reputation, including performing a number of miracles. People are taking notice. They're showing up for his rallies, so to speak. And today, at least in the way that Matthew recalls it, Jesus preaches his inaugural address that we know as the Sermon on the Mount. According to Matthew, this is Jesus' first sermon and his longest. Jesus preaches for 3 chapters, and yet these first 12 verses kind of set the tone and the theme. Blessed are you. Jesus beatifies them. But at first glance, where is the verifiable miracle? No one's cured of leprosy. No one gains their sight. No one has raised anyone from the dead. There is no one, as far as we can tell, who performs a certifiable miracle, so why all the fuss? I've read this gospel so many times in my life. It never, ever gets old. And this year, in 2020, it is more alive than ever before because of how I hear it within the context of all that's going on. And if we lean a bit more into this story, there are miracles at work. You see, I think Jesus is lifting up humanity and the very miracle that life itself can hold in the way that we live. Oh yeah, there's miracles going on, and Jesus calls them out. Blessed are you who work for peace in a world that is consumed by war. Blessed are you who strive for mercy in a culture raging for revenge. Blessed are you who stand up for what is right. Blessed are you who are trying your best to love your neighbor. Jesus also seems to know what happens when you try to do these kind of miracles, live this way in this world, and he blesses that too. Blessed are you who are shattered and ostracized, made fun of. Blessed are you who mourn or worn out. Blessed are you who weep. Blessed are you who follow this way and truth in life and are ridiculed for doing so. See, Jesus is calling forth a power. But not so much the power to perform miracles that defy human logic or exceed human capability. Jesus is calling forth the power that is given to each of us and all of us. It is the power given to us in the God-given gift of our very humanity. Don't get me wrong. I am glad and grateful that we have those heroes in our faith that bear the title of saint. People who perform the kind of miracles that defy our limits in logic. But let's not dismiss our own lives too quickly from also bearing the title of saint, and that our lives hold within them the potential and power to be living, loving miracles. Miracles of compassion, mercy, hope, healing. I was working on this sermon and I stumbled on this image that I'd like to share with you. The more that I have stared at it, the more it has become something more than a sketch. It's become an icon. an icon of sainthood in the year of our Lord 2020. It is a drawing by the anonymous street artist known simply as Banksy. It was delivered to a hospital in Southampton, England with the note, "Thanks for all you're doing. I hope this brightens the place up a bit, even if it's only black and white." It's titled The Game Changers. It shows a child playing with a doll dressed in a nurse's uniform, while the traditional superheroes of Batman and Spider-Man are discarded in a basket. The nurse's outstretched arms mimic those of Superman. Like most superheroes, she too wears a mask. The only color on the canvas is a symbol emblazoned on the nurse's chest, a red cross. Here then is an icon for sainthood in 2020. A child who lifts up the most unlikely superheroes, the miracle workers in our midst, who give their humanity to all humanity, all those real deal essential workers, nurses, doctors, teachers, first responders, truck drivers, therapists, custodians, those people who serve in the shadows and on the edges of life, the saints of God who perform miracles of mercy, perseverance, peacemaking, healing, saints who know deeply the life of sacrifice in this world and at this time, the fear of it, the grief and weariness of it, but also the hope and the joy of living this kind of life. Once upon a time, Jesus lifted up the most unlikely people and blessed them. People who were hungering for the world to be set right, but who were told they had no power to do so, to do anything about it, to say anything about it. You see, Jesus is able to see something more in them than suffering and sin and powerlessness. And what he sees, he calls forth, "You are blessed. You are loved," opening their eyes to the grace and goodness of God within them and freeing them and inspiring them and empowering them. This is not just a sermon on the Mount. It is a sermon for the hospital, for the schools. It is a sermon for our homes and neighborhoods. It is a sermon for you and for me. You who are striving for peace with someone in your life, you're blessed. You who weep and care for the broken, neglected, and lonely, you are blessed. You who sit by the dying at night, you are blessed. You who will sing of God when no one else will sing, you are blessed. You who know in your heart that the ways of this world are not right and hunger for more and will do something about it, you are blessed. You see, let us dare to place ourselves in this crowd of saints, for we too have a part in this company. We too are blessed. We too are given power. The power that bears forth the very image of God into this world. It is blazoned on our hearts and marked on our foreheads. It is the cross. And let us go forth to be a saint too. The kind of sainthood to which Jesus calls us. Let us be about the miracles that Jesus calls forth in us, lifting up the lowly, blessing the dying, offering mercy, holding fast to what is good. And know that when you do, you are performing miracles that our world desperately yearns for.